Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a special edition of Anchor Watch. I'm your humble host, Bobby Jones. And today I'm beginning a series that I think you're going to find very interesting. We're talking about elections, and everybody's focused on what's happening nationally and what happens at, Congress, the presidency, et cetera, et cetera. But what pretty much dictates your lives, it's local government, not national. And so I want to highlight a bunch of local leaders, those who are running for office at the local level, because they directly impact you. And with me, I have the honor and privilege of bringing on Quentin Q. Pullen, who is in my neck of the woods here in South Metro Atlanta, Fayette County to be exact. Quentin, first of all, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me. And listen, thank you for also Veterans for Responsible Leadership for believing in my campaign and giving me that endorsement. I appreciate that.
No problem. So I'm glad you talked about that. You are a veteran. Let's talk a little bit
Yes, sir.
about your background and how you wound up here. Can you give the listeners just a brief
Ab-
overview?
Absolutely. I am a what we call a dual service veteran. I served in the Marine Corps active duty, and did all the bells and whistles with that. And I got out of the Marine Corps and I promised my parents that I was going to get my college degree once I got out because I was a very good student. I had really good grades. And so while I was in school, I decided to go back into the Navy Reserve so I can get my commission. And so that's why I did. I served in the Marine Corps and then I served in the Navy. Um, Fortunately and unfortunately, at the time that I was in the reserves, I started a small business, and so my small business started to pick up. And so when I finally finished my degree, I went ahead and ended my service so that I can actually focus on my life and the work that I was doing in the community. So that's what I'm, a small business owner here in Fayette County. I relocated back here to Georgia about 5 years ago. I lived in California for about 30 years. And so we started a small business here. And one of the programs that we have here is a mentorship for kids that want to go into the military. So we have the only military obstacle course in the South Atlanta area, South Metro area. And my wife helps kids to pass the ASVAB, and I help them pass the physical fitness test. And so that's one of the ways we give back in the community.
No, and I think it's important for previous generations to basically help identify and train their reliefs, as we would say in the military.
For sure, right?
And I think that is part of what you're looking for in local leaders, right? So can you talk a little bit about why local government's important? The national news gets the national offices get all the headlines, but why is
Yeah.
local government important from your
Hey,
perspective?
local government doesn't get headlines until somebody does something wrong, right?
Mm,
But hey, let me say this, and you can look this up. For the first time in American history, the most amount of veterans are running for office right now, and it's because we
mm,
get it. We've taken that oath of office that commits us to our community, commits us to our country, and so this is one of the reasons why I decided to step into the arena of politics. I really never thought that I would run for office. I've always been pretty politically savvy. As a kid, my father had me read the newspaper, and we had conversations about what was going on in the community. He always said to me at a young age that the real politics and the real things that affect your life happens in the community. And so I just so
mm,
happened on Monday night to go to a seminar called All Things Voting, and what they were talking about is what they call down ballot. And I hate that term, down ballot. This is
mm,
where the meat of the community happens. Your property taxes, the taxes that you pay in stores, the roads that you have, schools that you have, all these things happen at the local level. So we have to have people that are willing in the community to interject themselves or inject themselves in those local levels to help create a better community. And I will say this, and I give this speech all the time. Our communities are fractured, and we
mm.
need good people to help heal that divide, heal our communities back up. And I believe that I'm the person for this time right now to run to be in our local government in our state house.
So along those lines, right? Georgia, being one of the 8 identified swing states, is really probably, along with North Carolina, the most purple of states.
Right.
What are you seeing at the local level in the state of Georgia that you think needs to be addressed by elected leaders?
There's so much.
Mm,
Um, Listen. our minimum wage is $5.15 an hour.
Hmm.
At $5.15 an hour, you can't afford much. I mean, tell me one person. Listen, the average cost of rent in Georgia is $2,000 a month, and at $2,000 a month, and let's just say we increase the minimum wage to $15 an hour, right? That is $31,500 a year. Okay, that's untaxed. Tax is about $26,000 a year. That's your $2,000 in rent gone right there. So what we need to address is the affordability crisis that we have in America and in Georgia. So
Mm.
I was privileged to go to it's the Georgia Bureau of Policy Institute, and that was in January, and they addressed the budgets and the things that are happening in our state. And one of the things that they said that was striking to me was that even at $15 an hour, people can't afford to live here in Georgia. What a real living wage looks like in Georgia is $27 an hour. At $27
Wow.
an
Okay.
hour, you might be able to afford your health care, right? You might be able to
Mm.
afford to put food on your table. You might be able to afford your rent. Otherwise, we're spinning our wheels and we're keeping people in this cycle of debt, and we're destroying communities because people cannot afford to spend time with their family, spend time with their kids. And so we really have to address that affordability issue. And affordability comes across with everything: medical insurance, the groceries that we buy on a daily basis, our gas prices right now. And so right now in Georgia, that is the biggest thing. I think when it comes down, Georgia brags about being number one in business, and we've been number one in business for the last 12 years, but we're
Hmm.
number 50th in workers' rights. And so something
Mm.
that math doesn't math, right? And so, and then check this, we're 32nd in opportunity. That means that the people at the bottom are staying there, and the people at the top are staying there. There's no uh, clear line for there to become a stronger middle class.
Wow. So you see the affordability issue. What bothers you is there's no movement on it. Um,
Mhm.
what do you bring to the table if you were to go to the Georgia legislature? What would you bring to the table that can help possibly change those? Because those facts are pretty staggering.
Yes, and then listen to this. I will say that every single elected official that held the seat before I'm going to has fought for the exact same things. The
Hmm.
the difference is I bring relationship building, because before you can pass any policy, and trust me, people will talk about the policies that they've written, the things that they've done for years, and every single year they write policy, and at the end of the year, sunny die day, they rip up that policy and have to start all over again. So first things first, you have to create relationships across the aisle, and express the importance of why uh, the bills that you're writing for affordability is in the benefit of everyone. People who have private insurance, I don't mind if they go to the front of the line, just so long as everybody else has insurance, right? Medical insurance. And listen to this. If everyone is insured, that's going to bring the risk factor down for businesses and people in the community. It's going to make us healthier and more productive. So we're not uh, talking, vegetables and fruit. We're talking the
Hmm.
same thing. We're all uh, trying to be better in health and more productive in life. And so I believe that what I bring to the table is that common sense and that um, relationship building that we need to
Mm.
get policy passed. That's Listen, in the military, this is why I say a lot of us are running right now, because we had to work with people that were different than us to
Mm.
get things done. And our
Hmm.
lives were on the line. It wasn't just, hey, I hate that guy because he's from Massachusetts or, Texas or whatever it is, right? We
Right.
had to work together. And the first thing that they tell you in boot camp is we don't see color, right? We see issues, we see the mission. And the mission that we have here in Georgia and as an elected official is to make the lives of the people that we serve better.
Mm. Well, I think you are definitely on the right page. The last question I'll ask you is this: when you are out campaigning,
Mhm.
because you have a very uniquely drawn district,
Yes.
um, what do you hear people asking or telling you? And
Oh.
the only reason I ask this, Q,
Mhm.
is because so many people will tell you that they don't feel like their elected representatives listen to them.
Right.
right?
Mhm.
They just go ask for your vote and go and do whatever the heck they want to do. What are
Mhm.
you seeing in these streets that people are saying they want out of their representatives?
Oh my God, dude. Listen, I this has been the most eye-opening thing for me. And this is why in the beginning, when I said I was going to write my platform, that I left it fluid because
Hmm.
you don't know what people want until you talk to them, you know? And
Hmm.
so canvassing has been a really educational experience for me. And believe it or not, and I kind of let people tell me, and the first thing I ask them is, what are they looking for in their elected official? And what are they feeling in their communities right now? And believe it or not, the first thing that people tell me is, hey, we're so divided right now. I, I I didn't expect. I thought people would say, "Oh, my gas prices," or living wages, and all. They don't talk about the basic needs. What they talk about is how divided we are as a community.
Mm.
And then I asked them, "How do we get this our communities back together? And what do
Hmm.
you want to see in your elected officials?" And they say, "We need more visibility in our elected officials. We need to see them. We need to talk to them." I can't tell you how many people whose doors I've knocked on that said, I've earned their vote just by being there to talk to them and ask them for their vote, to ask them what they want to see in the government, because nobody ever does that. Like you said, people get elected, they disappear into the assumption that they're going to continue to keep their position. And so I am one of those people that, listen, we
Mm.
got to have community leaders. And I am not the only community leader. We have 6 people running in my race right now. And I
Yeah.
commend each one of those people for stepping up to be a leader in the community. I just so happen to think that I am the best leader at this time of the 6 of us running for our community and the needs of our community. And I believe that I can get what the community wants to
Mm.
them.
Mm. Wow. Very powerful message and interpretation of what's happening in
Mhm.
our local communities. Q, where can people find you to get more information about you?
The easiest way to find me, my website is the letter Q, the number 4, thepeople.com. It's the same on the socials. It's on Instagram, it's the letter Q _4 the people. And then on Facebook, you can look me up as Q for the people as well. I'm very, very excited about what I see coming right now, because I see this engagement in a community, and I've been out doing
Mm.
what I call a reverse town hall. A reverse town hall is basically a listening session where I have a list of questions that I would like to ask based on those basic needs, and the community gives me feedback and tells me, and I asked them, I said, listen, when I'm elected, please hold me accountable. And the way that you do that is call, show up to the state
Mm.
house, make sure that your voice is being heard in every single meeting that you have a concern about. Because listen, you can vote all day long, but if you just punt your vote and then don't get involved in the community action, the work that's going on in the community, it's why we are where we are right now. And so, listen, I appreciate you having me on and giving me this space to let people know who I am and what I'm about. I am no nonsense, man. I'm for real. I'm the real deal
Mm.
when it comes to connecting with people and making sure. Look, my life's work has been helping people realize their best self and
Mm.
building strength. So I look forward to doing that in the state house.
Q, we appreciate it, man. Ladies and gentlemen, running for the House in Georgia, Quentin Pullen, was that House District 68?
Yes, sir. Georgia
So
House
please go
District
check out his
68.
website,
Mhm.
qforthepeople.com. Thanks, Quentin.
Hey, man, thank you for having me. I appreciate you.